Hey guys, we're at ConvergeSE 2011 with Carl Smith from ngenworks.
Hello.
And I just want to ask you a couple questions. Tell everybody about yourself and what you do and how special that is and what you talked about.
It's very special, so we'll start with that. My name's Carl Smith. I'm part of ngenworks, and we travel around making things on the web. So we try to find people who want to win and create awesome things, and then we try to help them. And normally we succeed. So.
Well, I mean, that's great. Well, you in your talk today, you talked a lot about trust and and the importance of it and how to build it and all of those things. So, I mean, you seem to have pretty strong feelings about this and everything. So, like, could you tell us, about how you developed your ideas? Because they seem pretty well thought.
Most of the ideas came out of conversations. When I was having, like I said at the beginning of the talk today, I was having a glass of wine with a friend, and we started talking about what really matters on the web. And a lot of that was circling around usability and the way things are designed, and we started talking about trust, and we started saying, well, how does this start? Where do we find out? And that's when my dad was actually a child psychologist for 40 years, and so I spent a lot of time with him asking him, how do we develop trust? And he started telling me it's all about the way you're brought up. It's all about the things from those early decisions that you make. And I started thinking, well, how does that apply to what we do? And then we started slowly trying to look at that. And we'd done a lot of work with kids, children's museums, things of that nature. And we started realizing the more honest we are and the less we try to front with certain language or anything of that nature, the way we just communicate, people will accept us. And it doesn't matter if they're young or old or whatever it is, people understand honesty. So. And
so, I guess the question is, like, I mean, a lot of the stuff that gets done online is fairly formulaic. There's kind of, there's all these patterns that people try to follow because they're considered best practices. So how do you kind of break that and really start focusing on this thing that's most important?
Well, I think, again, it gets to conversations and actually talking with the person who's either going to be deciding if they want the service or going to be figuring out if they're going to use the application or go to the event or whatever it might be, and just start asking them real questions. And not even questions about the event or the service. We'll ask them what was the last movie they saw. And we'll try to understand why they went to that movie or why they liked that actor, why they read that book, what music did they listen to. And we'll find cues in there to say, you know what? We need to bring those types of vibes into the work that we're doing. If we know that they like a certain number of websites or different things, we'll find a color palette out of that. And we'll say, you know what? They've accepted this. This already feels right. So one of the ways that we get outside of ourselves and break those patterns is by finding out what their patterns are and just trying to absorb ourselves into that.
That's interesting. So I guess one more question is, like, when you do that, I guess you're trying to not maybe personify the idea, but just like personalize it or make it feel like an individual or something. How do you kind of, since it is client work that we're talking about, how do you reconcile that with the brands that they have established?
Well, it's tough. I'll say right now there are a lot of projects that we want that we just can't work with them, because we're not allowed to help from the beginning of the promise to the end of the promise. And we'll sit there and we'll do an audit. Before we take any project, we do an audit of the communications. Very light, I mean, we don't waste a lot of time. And if we see that the way the phone is answered is different from the way they tell us they want to be perceived, then we say, how much control do we have over the person answering the phone? And if we find out that the promise is going to be broken, either from before it gets to us to what we want to do or after, then we just walk away from that project. And it's a beautiful place now. We couldn't have done that like even 16 months ago, but now we're really able to understand the entire flow of the experience and make sure that we fit in there. So does that make sense?
Yeah, it does, yeah. Well, thanks so much, man. It was a great talk. I really appreciate it.
I appreciate it. And this guy is a hell of an illustrator. So hire him. No, I'm just kidding. Thanks.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.